Hello ladies and gents, this is part 3. This is just a quick glimpse of what it will look like once I've finished building it. I've got my parts from the turners now, so I've got my motor mount and the drive plate, and also I've got the shaft which connects the rotor shaft to the motor. I've also got my stabilizing bars, which will just help stop flexing of the driver plate whilst it's in motion. So I've got all these parts. You know, I've just used some sticky tape for now, so you get the like a rough idea of what it's going to look like. So obviously the crossover's upside down, and I think it may have to stay that way because I can't obviously have it sideways. That'll look, well, actually I suppose I could. I could have it sideways. I can't have it the right way up because obviously the outputs and the inputs are, you know, at the bottom, which nearly doesn't really make sense, but you get the general idea. Power supply will go straight underneath. It fits really snug under there, so that's great. The amplifier will sit at the front. Again, the amplifier's upside down, but that can be turned around, so that will sit at the front. The subwoofer or driver will sit where it is now, and you can see here, this is the part that they machined or turned, if you wish, because the motor shaft is 11mm, so they've bored that out 11mm, put 2 gub screws in there for me. They are 3mm, one at the top here as well, that will hold the shaft of the rotor, and there's one underneath there as well, just there, you can kind of just see it, and the 5mm bore which holds the rotor shaft. I haven't drilled the hole yet for the motor to actually go through. Currently that's just sat on some 10mm nuts, because the motor isn't tall enough for the driver to sit flush with the, oh god, a bit of blood there. The thing fell on me earlier and it's cut my hand. Anyway, yes, for it to sit flushly with the whole of the driver. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of modifying in that respect, raising and lowering things and what have you. But this is just like a general overview, and obviously that shaft of the motor will sit further inward, as well as the driver will sit further back. Obviously the driver will sit flush to the plate, and as for the motor, I'll be able to just adjust that, you know, my forwards or backwards, and then obviously mark it all up, get the holes drilled for it, and get that bolted in. But just as you can, just so you can see, obviously the shaft of the rotor will be glued or bonded with epoxy resin to the front of this. They'll have a hole in here that will go straight in, sit flushly around about here, just about there. The shaft of the rotor will go into the sleeve and hold that in. Obviously, like I said, there's a bit of a gap here because obviously the driver needs to be further back, and the motor needs to be brought forward. But like I say, as a general, you know, overview, you get the general idea. So that will hold the rotor, the sleeve will fit onto the motor, and then obviously that will enable it to turn. So what I'm going to do now, is just marking it up, seeing where things sit, and then once I've done that, I will be able to you know, drill holes and weld things together and get that all sorted out. So I'll be doing that either today or tomorrow, today being Friday. It is quite late in the evening. I've got to travel all the way to Mansfield to the garage to get it all drilled and stuff, because I don't have the tools here to get it sorted. But I'm going to do some adjusting, get it all marked up, and then once I've done that, that'll be ready for putting together. I've also got to mark the blades out on the plastic sheets, so I'll do that too. So I'll get that done very shortly. So basically what I've done here, real quick, all I've done is just take the I took the crossover to pieces, and fortunately the actual board is on a stilt. It's on stilts, which means I can drill straight through the back of this plate, so I can mount it onto the driver, the motor mounting plate. So that's an added bonus. I've just got to strip down the amplifier to see if it's the same with that. But yeah, that's the circuit board for the well, the back of the circuit board for the crossover. There we go. That's the front. It's just a load of MOSFETs and I've forgotten what they're called now. Just a lot of MOSFETs and potentiometers. That's how it works. Interesting. So yeah, I'll get stripping down the amplifier. Now I've marked out where I want to drill these holes. Just going to quickly, just, you know, just get some screws just to hold it together, and then get that sorted out. So I've got the amplifier, and I've taken the taken all how many is there? 8 screws out of this, and voided the warranty, and I haven't even turned it on yet. And the back of this just came straight out. There we go. There's a little, obviously the fan, I just disconnected that. There's a little plug for it. So all I need to do is just locate where I'm going to put these holes on here, on the front of that panel just there. Yes, everything is on the floor. So this is what's inside this 360 watt amplifier. Obviously, as you can see, it's the transistor type. 2 great big fat transistors in the back there. 2 more here. Or is there 3 there? I think there's either 2 or 3 in that one. Couple of relays. Is that their version of a toroidal? Couple of caps, couple of resistors, potentiometers, outputs, LEDs, more caps, and chokes and things. Oh look, there's 2 more transistors there, look. 2 more sets. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing special. Can't imagine there's too much on the back of this, because the motherboard, the main board actually sits, or circuit board, actually sits on the back of this panel here. It uses it as a heatsink. So, yep, that's basically what's inside this. Nothing too special. Okay, so I've got my trusty template, my not so trusty template, but trusty template, because I had to hand make that, so it's not so accurate. Got my little template for the blades, and just went round them. These are ready to be cut out now. I've done 7. There's only 5 blades that the rotor head will hold, but I've done 7. Obviously I've got 2 spare as well. These are the dimensions. They're 7.5 inch blades. Don't mind that. That's just permanent marker stuff. But yeah, 7.5 inch blades. A couple of bits in dimensions and what have you, where the holes go and stuff. So yeah, they're ready to be cut out now. So I've got everything together. Going to take all this stuff down to the garage now and get my bits cut up and hopefully get it all back here and put it all together. The only thing that I haven't done is the strips, which will hold the blade steady. Those I'll have to do at the unit. Just cut up some 2mm sheet, get those cut and put behind the blade. So I'll do that as well. Hello again. So I've got all my parts now. Just cut this piece of wood and sprayed it black. This will be the plinth, and it's grey on the underside, but it's black everywhere else. Well, it's black on the top, black on the sides, and grey on the bottom. The bottom half, that's where I'm going to put my feet. Got my metal folded and took this to the garage and got it all welded up yesterday. Mounted the speaker to it as well. There's a hole. I've drilled the hole in that, in the front there, and in the back. Took me ages to do all this, but yes, it's the driver is mounted to the driver plate, and the motor mount is ready for the motor and to be mounted, and obviously various other bits attached to it as well. So I have also my blades that I've finished cutting. They're not in the greatest of shapes, but they're all 99% equal. So and obviously I've got my supports there as well. So this should go together pretty well now. These are the feet that I'm going to put underneath. They are like needle type, so that will stay real steady on carpet. Not too sure about wood. Obviously these can be undone, so if the guys at the studio don't want to have this you know, scratching up wood flooring and things like that, they can just take these you know, pins out, and they can, you know, just use the flat bits, or they can just have their own sort of, you know, way of mounting it. Got my mount sorted out, ready for the motor, adjustable that, so I can get that you know, centered and in the motor at a very straight angle. Obviously it's a little bit difficult because with the driver being, you know, magnetic, it pulls it all over the place, so I'll be able to adjust it properly on there. I'll show you how I'll do that in a bit. And everything else is still as it was, in pieces. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to screw these feet on this plinth. I'm going to leave these needles out so I can you know, move this around, because obviously I've got wood flooring. So I'm going to put this camera on the mount and then keep this in view. So bear with me 1 second. There we go. So I'm just going to take these. There we go, the easiest part done. So I've got my plinth now, and I'll put those to one side, so obviously don't lose them. So I'll put them blades as well over there. So next job is I would say to mount this on here, but yeah, I think that's what I'll do. So bring that forward. Well, we know where it's going to go, so about here, so we'll get some screws for that. Hold on. Right. This is the niggly part. Trying to get these in here. That one's just like a slot in. We know that that's going to go there, but for this one, okie then. Oh dear, it's a little bit floppy. On the floppy side, got to figure a way of stabilising that. It's a bit on the floppy side. Yes, it's I bought these ages and ages and ages ago because I was going to do my cupboards, but it turns out I didn't actually need them. I should have put this on before, shouldn't I? If I'd known that was going to happen. Cut these bad boys out. Because they've got sticky backs, you see. Oh, they even need cutting out. So what I'll do is I'll shove one of those underneath there. Okay, advertisement break. My girlfriend has just walked in with these. It's chocolate. I thought this was quite cool actually. There's a 17 and a 16mm double-ended spanner here. Oh yes, and a pair of pliers. That's the one. Yes, pliers. Thank you. Yes, yes, and a nut and bolt, and they actually thread together. How cool is this? Look at that. That's right, good. Yeah, thanks for that. Oh, that's brilliant. I'll put that back together. I mean, put that back in its box. So now I've done that, I've mounted that on here. I'm going to move that over. And before I do anything else, I'm going to deal with this. Now, what I'm going to have to do is take this shaft off of here. I'm going to have to take the shaft off of here because I'm going to have to mount the motor after I've mounted the driver and what have you. So I'm going to have to get a pair of pliers to undo that. And what's this in here? What's this in here? I don't know, whatever it is. It's quite small. I don't know. I've got a socket to fit that, hang on. Okay, so managed to get that out.
Oh, it won't open anything anyway because it's.
I need to.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's alright. Oops. These are quite small. Get the shaft out of here, but I'll need this back on in a bit, along with this and that. So what I need to do first, now I've done that, is get this on here, where I said I was going to put it, right here, and bolt it in. So, where's my bolts? There they are. I'm going to use these little plastic caps. Oh, not all of them. Thinking I need quite a few, but not all of them. Right. I could really use the drill right now. Okie dokie, so I've screwed all of those screws in there. That's holding that down really well now. And so, to cut a long story short, basically I've so far what I've done obviously is I've mounted the motor mount to the plinth, and now I have got the motor mounted in there as well, and it's all adjusted up. You can see that that spins relatively freely now. That took me quite a while to do. I did do a video based on all of this, but I kind of deleted them because I ran out of memory, and then put them on my computer and thought I transferred them, but I didn't. I deleted them. So half of the video is missing, but that's just me chatting crap. But anyway, that's all tightened up and in there now. All motor's all bolted in. So all I'm going to do next is I'm going to mount the amplifier on the front, and then mount the crossover on the side, and then once I've done that, it's a wiring jobby. So I'm going to put this back on its mount and mount this amplifier. So, oh, I've messed it up. Great, I've messed it up. There. So just put these spacers on because the amplifier's got a fan on it. Okay. It likes to be a little bit loud, doesn't it? Right, so that's on there. Yes, so while I've been messing about trying to get this sorted, I thought I'd resin in the swash plate and mount the resin's gone a bit white. I thought it might have been transparent. It looks like I've had a major accident and made a mess. And of course, it works. It works as it should. spins around, but I don't know what it's going to be like while it's in use, because there is a bit of play in that. So I'm not sure what to expect, but it's very smooth, you know. But we'll see. We'll see. So stick that back in here. So that's that on there. Now I need to screw that in. So now I've got the amplifier fitted. I've made some time to sort my blades out. Really nice in this colour. You know, it's like a smoky black. You know, like a grey. It's really nice though. It's got a really nice tint to it, and they're really strong. Really strong. So yes, now I'm going to mount the crossover now. Ooh. Screws flying everywhere. Nobody knows what's going on. Oh dear. So this will be mounted this way, like so. Progress check. So I've fitted the crossover now, looking nice, well in there. The motor's been mounted, the rotor is on there. Still, obviously, like I say, there's a bit of play in that, but it's still smooth, so we'll see how that goes. The amplifier has been mounted, and obviously the power supply too. That's in there nice and snug, so it looks pretty fresh. Looks quite nice, apart from obviously a great big white patch on the front of this thing, but once it's got its blades in there, in fact I'll put them in now, hang on. Okay, there we go, looking good. Sweet as a nut, mate. Bro. Anyways, this ends part 3. Next on the agenda is just wiring, and I'll be doing that tomorrow. So, catch you guys later.